Mic check, mic check. How we looking? Where my folks at, man? Let's get it. Got a lot to talk about, man. What's popping? What's going on? Lil Kenny was good. Big Matt was good. Man. Jim D's, what's going on, man? I ain't gonna lie, fellas. It's looking tragic right now. What's going on with y'all? Damn, we can't go out like this. Nah, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. We might be in trouble. That's just me being completely honest. We might be in trouble. We gonna get into it, man. We gonna get into it. This was an interesting game for a lot of reasons. What's up, Drew? What's up, Michael? Yeah, man. How's the quality look? Better than the last few streams, I hope. Can y'all hear me good? The older guys are getting ran into the ground. What's up, Chris? All right, man, let's get into it, man. We 2 minutes in, let's get into it. The Warriors might be in trouble. And that's not me trying to over-exaggerate for content or nothing like that. These last few games, the Rockets have figured some stuff out, and the Warriors have yet to counter. And now it looks like the Rockets have the momentum. This 2-3 zone they're running. Actually, the 3-2 zone they're running. Not only is it a 3-2 zone, it's like a hybrid zone. It's like a box and one 3-2 zone hybrid. It's very interesting. And the Warriors, it don't look like the Warriors. I mean, we're 2 games in. The Warriors haven't figured it out. They've had plenty of time to look at the tape and come up with a game plan. They haven't figured it out. So now, back to the drawing board. I mean, if they don't figure it out for Game 7, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. They can't. This double big lineup with Sengun and Steven Adams is terrorizing the Warriors. They have no counter for it. Steve Kerr made a million different subs, a million different combinations. No answers. He's changed the starting lineup. He put GP2 in the starting lineup. Immediately when I seen that, I was like, interesting. And not in a good way. I was like, interesting. I was unsure about it. I understand his thinking was probably, you put GP2 in there. You have him guard Fred VanVleet, number one, and then number two. When the Rockets try to put Sengun, the Rockets have been hiding Sengun on whoever they can at shooting guard. First it was Moody, and then they were trying to hide him on pods. So now when you put GP2 in there, now you get GP2 in the screening actions with Steph. Now you got Sengun involved in the actions. They're trying to get him more involved defensively, try to wear him down, expose his defense, yada, yada, yada. But it didn't work out. GP2 gave them nothing. I think it was a galaxy brain move by Steve, trying too hard to just make a chess move that didn't need to be made. Paz has been fine in the starting lineup. It's not great, man. I think the Rockets figured out the fact the Warriors can't shoot. Outside of Steph, the Warriors can't shoot. They're running this zone that's basically a box and one hybrid on Steph, and everywhere Steph moves on a court, they're kind of like all their players are in charge of guarding their little segment of the zone, and they're kind of hurting Steph, and then he gets to like someone else's section, and then they kind of do like a handoff of sorts. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. Ime definitely is stifling the Warriors' offense. This offense was ridiculously bad this game. What was that stretch during the? It was a stretch during the third quarter and the fourth quarter where the Warriors went like 5 minutes, had like 2 3 points. It's not good, man. And then Fred VanVleet, my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare. Fred VanVleet turned back into 2019 form, just hating, just Warriors killer Fred VanVleet from 2019. He can't miss now. He's been just on fire the past. Have you seen his 3-point percentage the past 3 games? The dude's shooting like 70% from three. He's shooting like 70% from three. This is very concerning. And you put GP2 in the starting lineup to supposedly guard GP2 and shut him down, and GP2 ain't doing nothing. So you put Paz on the bench. Now Paz coming off the bench. Paz wasn't amazing, but he was way better than GP2 this game. He's actually capable of like hitting shots. Like he wasn't crazy knockdown, but Paz hit a few threes. I just think it was a mistake. The changing the lineup was a mistake. What y'all talking about in here, man? Man, why ain't play Spencer? He balled out. I mean, at this point, I think Pat Spencer, the minutes he's been given, he's been playing well. So this game was an opportunity to play Pat at home during the regular rotation just to see what you got. So, but now you're talking about throwing him out there in a game 7 on the road. I don't know, man. That might be, at this point, it might be too little too late. I mean, here's the thing. If you throw him out there in game 7 and it's not great, you may have missed your opportunity to play Pat Spence. This was the game to play him. You play him at home, let him get a rhythm, let him get comfortable, and then you see if he's worthy of more minutes in a possible game 7. Now you're back's against the wall. Now you're desperate. You're gonna throw him out there in a game 7 on the road. I don't know. Steve Kerr got thoroughly outcoached these past 2 games, especially this game. Steve Kerr was scrambling with his substitutions. You could tell he was scrambling. He had no answers. The Rockets' 2 big lineup. Steven Adams is a monster, man. This is just their only hope to get Steven Adams off the court, to play him off the court, to win those matchups, to win those lineups with Steven Adams on the court. Their only hope is to do hack of Steven Adams and pray this man misses enough free throws. That's their only counter, and it didn't work. They have no answers for Steven Adams. As crazy as that sounds to say, in 2025, they have no answers for Steven Adams. That's crazy. It's crazy. Steven Adams, first of all, this is the most athletic I've seen Steven Adams, man. This dude is blocking shots. He's like a legit rim protector. He's everywhere, man. He's like jumping out of a cannon on these block shots. Like, it's crazy. I've never seen a move like this. Like, man, this is very concerning. Draymond Green, gotta be better. Gotta be better. You're not doing enough. The defense on Sengun is cool, but that's what you're supposed to do. We need more though. Offensively, we need more. If you look at has he scored in double digits in any of these games in this series? I doubt it. I don't have the numbers in front of me off the top of my head, but I doubt he's scored in double digits yet. You got to be better. I know it's hard to finish over this length. Steven Adams is big down there. Sengun the Rockets have the swarming defense, all this length on the perimeter. You got to find a way to be effective, man. You got to hit these shots. You got to do something. Things are looking very, very troublesome right now. The Warriors don't figure out this zone box and one defense the Rockets are playing, they're in trouble. And I don't have much faith that they're going to just hit enough shots, hit enough crazy, ridiculous shots Like the Rockets are playing the anybody but Steph defense. They're banking on role players not hitting shots. They're not hitting enough shots. I don't. The only thing that that can go the Warriors' way is if Steph has like a supernova, ridiculous, just hitting bull crap shots with just three dudes draped all over him. Somebody else got to show up. Like Jimmy Butler did what he had to do. You would hope that he can hit some of those threes late, some wide open corner threes. You got to hit some of those, Jimmy. Like I know you're not known for a 3-point shooter, and you had a pretty good game overall, but they're giving you wide open corner threes. You got to hit that. There's just no excuse not to hit these wide open corner threes. You've been in the league 14 years. You're a great mid-range shooter. The corner three is the shortest 3-point shot. They're basically daring you to hit them. Got to knock them down. Yeah, man. Steve Kerr is, man, I'm not, what y'all talking about? Holly, we got to start Trace. We got to start Trace and Looney. Nah, man. That ain't the move, bro. What are we doing here? You want to start Trace and Looney? That's insane. We can't do that. Dre can't start. Listen, Dre hasn't been great, but who's guarding Sengun if you bench Dre? Sengun is gonna deep fry every player on his roster that's not Draymond. That's what he's done the entire series. Look at Sengun's stats against everybody that's not named Draymond. It's barbecue chicken. You bench Draymond and try to do the galaxy brain thing. You have TJD out there getting cooked. You got Looney out there getting cooked. Now you got Sengun at home in a game 7. He's getting fouled. He's getting and ones. He's cooking. Like and then you try to bring Draymond off the bench to try to like put the fire out when he's already rolling after picking on, like, come on, man, you can't do that. You gotta go down with Draymond starting. If you lose the series, you lose the series. But trying to bench Draymond in a game 7, that's absolutely. And first of all, I don't even think Draymond's going for that. Like Steph ain't going for that. Draymond's not going for that. Like the vets are gonna be like, nah, bro. If they're gonna go down, they're gonna go out with their best dudes swinging. Like, imagine telling Steph, yo, Steph, we're going to bench Draymond. We're going to start TJD. We're going to have TJD on Sengun to start the game in a game 7. You're going to put TJD on Sengun in a game 7 on the road and say, yo, you D up Sengun. It's not happening. It's not happening. Buddy Hield gave us his one game. Shout out to Buddy Hield for the game 3 performance. We needed that fill-in when Jimmy missed the game. Buddy gave us a boost. That one game saved him from slander from me. But now the fun's over with Buddy Hield. He's back to being buns. We got to go in a different direction with that. Buddy Hield ain't it. He ain't hit. Like, it's crazy how this man, every time he was wide open for a 3, did you think it was going in? Did any of y'all think any of his threes where he was open was going in? Not a chance. It's crazy, man. Fake shooter, bro. Fake shooter. I say fake shooter, not saying that he's not a good shooter. A fake shooter is just like when you need them to hit the threes the most, they ain't there. When you look at their 3-point percentage at the end of the regular season, all right, they shot decent from 3, but when you really need them during key moments, during clutch moments in games, when you need him, he ain't there. That's what I call a fake shooter. Y'all remember Michael Motor? In that, what year was that? That was like the 2020 season. No, the year after we lost the 2019 finals. I think that was the year with Michael Motor. Fake shooter. The dude was like a 40% shooter or whatever, and he'll only make threes during garbage time, or he'll only make threes when the Warriors are like up 20. But when the game was close and they actually needed him to hit threes, he couldn't hit nothing. Play Guy Santos. Yeah, man, I would have loved to see more Guy. If Buddy, my philosophy with Buddy Hield, I'm giving this man a quarter, maybe 2, to prove he can hit shots. If you're not hitting shots, you're done. You're going straight to the bench. You're walking straight to the bench. I'm bringing in a goon. I'm bringing in Guy Santos. I'm bringing in somebody that's gonna scrap. Like if Buddy's not hitting threes, if he's not hitting shots, I'm gonna bring in somebody that's not as good of a shooter. That's gonna do something else. Somebody that's gonna come in and get rebounds and scrap and got some size. Buddy Hield's out there. He's short. He's 6'4". He's short. He's not a good defender, and he's not hitting threes. He's not doing nothing. The only thing he provides is his threat of being a knockdown shooter. But if he's not hitting threes, that only goes so far, man. Like, man. Holly, check this. It's this simple. The starting lineup needs to be consistent of Curry, Paz, or Moody, Jimmy, Kuminga, TJD. Draymond scoring is killing us. Double big lineup. We have to go Looney, TJD, more size, bro. You're not going with a Looney, TJD front court in a Game 7 on the road. That's insanity. That's literally insane. That's insane, bro. It's not happening. If we lose, we need to acquire a center. We need to acquire a center anyways, man. This team is void of front court talent. The fact that Draymond Green's at 35 years old is our most talented front court player still is a problem. It's a very big problem. It's not great at all. I see some of y'all want Kerr's head. Let's see what Steve Kerr got in his bag for this Game 7. I know y'all want Steve Kerr gone, but y'all want his head on a spike, bro. Y'all is going crazy. Let's see what they got for this Game 7. If Steve Kerr chokes this Game 7, it's definitely, you can't fire him because you got to clear that with Steph. Steph ain't gonna want him fired. But choking a 3-1 lead in the first round to this young Rockets team, Game 5, Game 5, you get blown off the court. The game was over in the first quarter. That's on the players, but that's also on Steve, too. He came out and did his usual line, I didn't have the guys ready tonight. I didn't have the guys prepared. That's like his go-to when they get smoked. I'm tired of hearing that line, man. But yeah, if they choke a 3-1 lead in the first round to this Rockets team, everything's on the table besides Steph and Jimmy. Everything. If you got to move Draymond for another piece that's a better fit, that can give more of a two-way play, it's on the table. I doubt there's a deal out there where you send out Draymond and get better, for the simple fact that Draymond is so uniquely useful to this Warriors team, with Steph, with what he does for the defense, the toughness he brings. And his value to the Warriors is not the same as how the rest of the league perceives him in terms of value. Like, teams aren't lining up to acquire Draymond Green and pay that man $25 million a year for the next 3 years or 2 years. Teams aren't lining up to do that. Like, some teams might look at that as a negative asset and be like, yeah, you have to give us some assets for us to take that. So you're never going to get equal value. So it's not as simple as, all right, let's send out Draymond and then we'll get an all-star back and it's all good. No. If you send out Draymond, you're almost certainly going to get a player back that's worse or not as good of a fit, and you're moving Draymond for the sake of moving Draymond. Look, his offense is terrible. We all know his offense is terrible. We need to add more offensive talent. That's what it is. That offensive talent was supposed to be Kuminga. Now, Kuminga probably would have came in handy this game. Steve Kerr probably should have been more willing to use Kuminga when the offense was stagnant and they wasn't doing nothing. At that point, you just not gonna try Kuminga? You're just not gonna try Kuminga? I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't understand how you don't at least try Kuminga. Throw him out there and see what happens. It can't be much worse than this. When the Warriors were struggling to score for 7 minutes. Throw Kuminga out there. GB2 ain't doing nothing. All right, GB2, you're not really stopping nobody. You're not giving nothing on offense. Let's get Kuminga out there. He might not be as consistent of a defensive player from possession to possession, but at least he can get downhill and he can finish. At least he could put his head down and do something at the rim. At this point, you probably lost Kuminga. You probably lost him, man. Like I know for a fact Kuminga, he's over it. Like he's ready for his next team. Like I'm sure he wants to like this season to continue on and see how far they can go. He's been part of his team for the past 4 years. He wants to see how far this thing could go, but mentally, a part of him's checked out. He's ready for his next team because he's looking around. He's looking around and he's like, yo, I'm better than everybody on this team besides Steph and Jimmy. Everybody. He thinks he's better than Draymond. He thinks he's better than Pods. He thinks he's better than Moody. He thinks he's better than GP2. He's like, why am I getting a DMP? I can't even sniff the court. The team can't score. In his mind, he thinks he's probably the second best scorer on the team. Like, it's hard for him to rationalize, for him to like to fathom why he can't even sniff the court when his team can't score. I don't blame him. QP passing up threes. What's the point of a stretch big if he doesn't take the shot? We needed TJD to help with rebounds and rim protection. Bro, TJD's not much of a rim protector, bro. I know he gets blocks every now and then, but like calling him a rim protector is a stretch. In terms of QB passing up threes, number one, his three hasn't been going down. He's probably just doesn't want to make mistakes. He's a young dude. It's a mental thing. During the regular season, he was unconscious. Like whether he was missing shots or not, it was going up. Now the playoffs, things are a little more tight. He doesn't want to make a mistake. He doesn't want to take a three unless he's like wide open. It's just an adjustment period for him. This is his first playoff series. He's a rookie. The Warriors' number one priority needs to be adding talent to the front court this offseason. You can't go into next season with Draymond as your most talented front court player. 36-year-old Draymond as your most talented front court player. It's not. You're just not gonna win. You're not gonna win a championship like this. You're just not. It's so crazy how I don't like harping back on like the draft misses, but when you look at this series, when you look at the Warriors roster construction the past few years, them missing on these draft picks is the reason why there's this lack of talent in the front court. It's the James Wiseman year. So they drafted James Wiseman as a top three, a big in the top three. And some of this is just dumb luck because look at the year after the 2020 season. I think Evan Mobley got drafted third in the very next draft, a big in the top three. Evan Mobley, he just won the Defensive Player of the Year. He's an all-star. He's looking like young KG right now. He looks amazing. The season after that, Chet Holmgren gets drafted in the top three, another big in the top three. Chet Holmgren looks amazing. Both those bigs will be absolutely just game changers on the Warriors. It just so happens that the year the Warriors had a top two pick and wanted to get a big man in the top three, the options was James Wiseman and who else was what other bigs? It wasn't even another big that was anywhere close. Imagine if Evan Mobley was a 2020 big man like target in the draft, or Chet Holmgren. Any one of those if you just insert any one of those two on his roster, that's the talent influx in the front court the Warriors are missing. They whiffed on the number 2 pick with James Wiseman, and that's directly where it shows with this roster construction, where now you have Draymond Green, who's still your most talented front court player, when you miss on those picks. And then the Kuminga situation, the Kuminga pick could have very easily have been Sengun. Shoot, they passed on Sengun twice. When they picked Moses Moody at 14th. They could have had Kuminga and Sengun. They passed on Sengun twice. They had opportunities to add front court talent, but dropped the ball. We might be cooked. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not super confident in Game 7. Now, obviously, I'm not going to doubt Steph. I think Steph is up there, man. I think he's one of the GOATs, top 3. So I'm not going to ever count that man out and say we're done. But I don't feel great about the Rockets still in the momentum and what they've been deploying the past few games, and the Warriors' inability to crack this zone defense. So it's looking like a Steph save us game in Game 7 on the road, where they're not going to get any calls, and the Rockets have the momentum, and they're an elite defense. Not great. Steph's finger looks janky as fuck. Yep. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Wiseman played good his rookie year out of the Kerr system. No, he didn't, bro. No, he didn't. He got points and whatnot because Joe Lacob forced Steve Kerr to play him and start him, because that was his new project. He's like, yo, he's going to be our new franchise savior, James Wiseman. They wanted to put him in the lineup and see what he could do. But he was never playing good in Steve Kerr's system, ever. He just couldn't run a system. He didn't have enough development. His basketball IQ was nowhere near developed enough. Like, he only played 3 college games. He just didn't play enough basketball to process the game. First of all, to process the pro game, let alone Steve Kerr's system, which requires even more feel for the game to play it successfully. You draft this dude basically fresh out of high school, because he only played 3 college games. You throw him in Kerr's system as a starting center, and saying, rock out, see what you got. It was a disaster. James Wiseman was just not a good fit. Not only was he not a good player, he wasn't a good fit. There's a lot of big men that can, if you throw the ball enough, they can score like 10, 15 points off of their size and athleticism. There's plenty of players that could do that, you know what I'm saying? But Wiseman was just not a good player. It is what it is. Yeah, man, Wiseman had no hands. Yeah, the 3-guard lineup, that's a good point. HT, that's a good point. The 3-guard lineup, man. You got Buddy and GP2 next to Steph Curry in the starting lineup. You can't. Steve, come on, man. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here, man? You got Buddy Hield and GP2 in a starting lineup next to Steph Curry. That's not a recipe for success. It's just not. Like, I know GP2 can guard up, he can guard wings, but when you're playing against a team that deploys a 2-big lineup, when you're playing against a team that is the best offensive rebounding team in the league, you can't get away with these 3-guard lineups. You're not getting away with it. It's not happening. You just can't. Steve, man. Steve got thoroughly outcoached. It was this one play I was watching. I think it was the 4th quarter. I seen Draymond Green down low battling against Steven Adams for positioning. Dude, this dude Steven Adams is like, he got at least like 60 pounds on Draymond. Like, it looked ridiculous. It looked absolutely ridiculous. Draymond's he's fighting for his life. He's trying his hardest to box this dude out. He's like, he got the lower center of gravity. He's trying to like just root him up and like get him up out of positioning. He's doing everything he can. And Steven Adams is just down there just having his way. Ball goes up. Steven Adams, even though Draymond's getting as low as he possibly can and trying to root him out, Adams just goes easy, just grabs it, boom, kick out. It's just nothing they could do. It's nothing they could do. They're too small. They're too small, and they're not imposing their will. When they go to this small ball lineup with Draymond and Jimmy, you gotta impose your will and make the Rockets adjust to you. They haven't made the Rockets adjust to them. They haven't forced the Rockets to go small. The Rockets have imposed their will with their 2-big lineup more than the Warriors have imposed their will. And the Warriors might be in trouble just based off that. I was thinking before this series, I'm like, yo, Steven, that was going to be a problem. But if the Warriors play fast enough and they get Steven Adams in enough actions and play him off the court, maybe that'll force the Rockets to play small and have more lineups with like Jabari Smith out there, get Adams off the court. They can't play Adams off the court. They can't play him off the court. He's surviving, and not only surviving, he's thriving. Let me look at some stats real quick, man. I have some stats real quick for y'all. So Steven Adams. Steven Adams is a plus 53 for the series. A plus 53. With him off the court, the Rockets are a minus 39. So, I mean, every second Adams is on the court, he's just dominating. They can't do nothing with him. I never expected audio kind of off. Is my audio off, y'all? How's my audio sound? Yo, 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 yo. Mike was sounding like it's in a bathroom. Yo. What's going on? Talk to me. Can y'all hear me now? Echoing like a bathroom. Man, I don't know what the hell going on, bro. Is it bad, man? Y'all give me like a just reverb. It was worse earlier. Audio is better. Better now. Sounds better. I think it's because I turned away from the mic to look at my pad. I'm just gonna talk a little more directly into the mic. Man, y'all let me know whenever like audio or whatever something with the feed looks off. Just throw it in the chat, man. You said how you keep talking about Draymond's defense. Who did he stop? No effing one single 29 points. Adams 17 points. Yeah, Sengun had 29 points. He wasn't scoring all. He didn't score. It's not like he scored 29 points on Draymond's head though. Like that's not. We can't just say Draymond's not out there playing defense. He's playing defense. He's covering up a lot of stuff that just don't show up. The Warriors are playing small. Like Draymond's covering up most of the stuff that we don't see with a small unit. Draymond's 6'6", guarding a front court with a dude that's 6'11" and a dude that's 7 feet. Both dudes got 40 pounds on them each. Let's not just like, yo, Draymond, you're not playing defense. You gotta be better. There's a limitation to how much the man could do defensively at 35 years old, undersized against a too big lineup that has like damn near 100 pounds plus combined on him in weight. He's playing fine defensively. Sengun's not just scoring on at will on his head. Sengun's getting most of his points off switches, opportunistic scoring when Draymond's not on him or not on the court, and it's piling up. That's not all just on Draymond's head. Don't forget also with no center to help him. Exactly. Draymond has no one behind him that's going to help him. Draymond has to play defense on Sengun. He has to get back and box out Steven Adams and get the rebound or tap the rebound away. And then he has to like blow up plays when Buddy Hield's getting blown by Jalen Green. Draymond has to like rotate over and stop that hole. Has to contest that. Then he has to run back over and fill this hole over here. Let's not talk about Draymond not playing defense, man. He's doing what he can, but offensively he needs to be better. The offense is a problem. He's good for like a 1-3. He'll hit maybe 1 or 2 threes, 1 or 2 shots to start the game, and then you ain't getting nothing from the rest of the game. That's a problem. He has to be better. Jimmy needs to be more aggressive, and Kerr needs to play all 3 of our bigs. Dre and Jimmy can't do it by themselves. We have to start Looney. I think Jimmy's picking the spots. That's another thing. Jimmy was moving better this game. He looks like he's moving way better than he was in game 4? Way better. He still might not be 100%. I think he's picking his spots. He's still getting to the free throw line almost double digits every game. It's hard when the Rockets are they got the two big lineup in the paint. So it's like he's driving to the paint, and you got Adams just creeping in the paint. And another thing, Adams is camping the paint. Like the refs ain't calling no 3-second calls. Why is Adams allowed to just drop his anchor in the paint and just camp with no consequence? There's no 3 seconds calls being called. If you can just camp in the paint and the refs are just ain't gonna call 3 seconds, how is that allowed? That just do you know how much harder that makes it to score in the paint when the dude is just camping down there? He doesn't have to move. I can see the Warriors players telling them refs like, "Yo, this dude's camping in the paint. Like, are you gonna call that?" And the refs just look at them, say that, and just ignore it. They act like they didn't hear it. It's just like, okay. So even if y'all didn't initially notice he's camping the paint, you're being made aware of it by the players, the coaches. So now you're aware of it. So now there's no excuse not to call it. If after they told you that and you're looking, this dude's still in the paint camp and you're just not gonna call it, what is that? What is that? Why are they allowing Steven Adams to camp in the paint, bro? Like, it makes no sense to me. The refs just decide when they don't want to call stuff. They're just like, you know what? We're not calling no 3 seconds. It's like, do your thing. We ain't calling that. It's just ridiculous. Is there a chance we lose Game 7 with the same lineup and Golden State actually fires Kerr? I think they're not doing that lineup no more. That the GP2 switch was a mistake by Steve Kerr. Just go back to Pods, man. Like, Pods isn't a perfect player, but out of Pods, Moody, and GP2, Pods is the best balance of hitting enough shots offensively, keeping the defense honest, and being able to hold up defensively. Like, GP2 is not the defender he was in 2022. He's not. They put him in starting lineup to put him on Van Fleet. Van Fleet was still getting his game off. GP2 is just not the same force defensively that he used to be. Real talk, Holly, don't you agree with me? Yes, Dre defense and IQ is elite, but he lacks size and he's not the offensive guy he once was. I agree with that. He's elite, but he lacks size. I mean, we all know Draymond lacks size. The difference is he's not as athletic as he used to be. So him being undersized is more obvious in certain lineups, especially in a lineup against a team that has a too big lineup. That's very effective. In terms of switching him out for another player, like I said earlier, there's no scenario where you trade Draymond and you're getting back a player that's just as talented, or you're getting back an all-star level player. The league does not value Draymond as much as the Warriors do. Draymond's more valuable to the Warriors than he ever will be for any other team. There's never going to be a scenario where you trade Draymond and the player you're getting back is going to help you more. If you trade Draymond, it's going to be a salary dump or somebody buying low. It's not happening. So you can say, oh, let's get rid of Draymond. You're not getting rid of Draymond and getting better as a team. What they need to do is divvy up some of these assets, divvy up some of these contracts, and try to bring in a player that's try to bring in more talent into the front court, more scoring talent. I think drafting Quinton Post was a good start as a backup big, a backup stretch 5, but they need a starting big that can be effective offensively. What's your fave lineup? My favorite lineup, Steph, Pods, Jimmy, Draymond. I don't know. For the fifth player, it kind of depends, man. The Warriors desperately need like a fifth guy. I think Pods as a starting 2 is fine. You got the big 3 with Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. They need a 5th guy that can take advantage of offensive opportunities, that can shoot, possibly be a vertical threat, have some pop vertically at the rim. But it's just hard to find all that with their financial restrictions. So this roster's flawed. This roster is definitely flawed. The Warriors probably should have made a second trade after they traded for Jimmy Butler. They needed to make another trade just to shore up the lineup. But I think the part where it was difficult is you're trading out 4 players to get Jimmy, and now you don't even really know how Jimmy looks with the players you have, and you're trying to predict how it's gonna look without them playing a game together, and making a second trade to shore up weaknesses when you don't even know how it's gonna fit in the first place. There's literally no time. There's no evaluation time because it's a trade deadline. So if the Warriors were a little more aggressive, they probably should have got Jimmy a little bit earlier, left him a little small window to possibly make a second move at the trade deadline. But they just didn't have enough time. They got Jimmy, and they didn't want to kind of overextend. They didn't want to try to overreact, overreach for a second trade without knowing what they had. So, unfortunately, it's looking like this year was a fill-out year, exactly. This year is really the Warriors' best chance to win a championship is going to be next year. Because after this season, they're going to have enough data to see, all right, what lineups work, what role players work around Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. Where can we shore up the roster? It was impossible to make that call at the trade deadline without Jimmy playing a game with the core yet. So now that you have Jimmy, you played half a regular season together. You got a playoff run, wherever that playoff run ends. Hopefully not in the first round, but whether it be the second, third, or the finals, wherever the case may be. You got enough data for Mike Dunleavy to go into the offseason and be like, all right, we definitely need more scoring from the front court. We need another two-way wing. We need this, we need that. Now, you know Kuminga's probably not the best fit with this core. What can we turn Kuminga into? Whereas before, the Warriors probably could have traded Kuminga for Cam Johnson. I think the Nets are reportedly very interested in Kuminga. They probably could have made that trade. They didn't want to do it because they're like, you know what? We don't know how Kuminga looks with Jimmy Butler. There's a chance Kuminga looks great playing next to another playmaker, playing off a second star. We don't want to give up the upside of Kuminga yet without seeing how he looks next to Jimmy Butler. So I can't really blame them for not saying, you know what, let's trade the upside. Let's bring in Cam Johnson, who's basically what he is as a player. Cam Johnson is like 28. This is his peak. Like, this is what you're getting from Cam Johnson as a player. He's not going to get any better than this. Whereas Kuminga, 21, 22, there's obviously still upside to explore. They wasn't ready to trade that away without seeing how it looks. Well, now they see how it looks. Doesn't look great. Now they're probably going to make that move now in offseason. Kuminga's probably not as valuable as he was at the trade deadline because now whatever teams trade for him, they have to immediately sign him to a contract. The team that's trading for him don't have the half the season to evaluate how he looks with their team and before making a financial commitment. Now you have whoever trades for him has to immediately just sign him to a contract. So that by itself makes Kuminga less valuable. So I'm not sure. So they definitely can't get as much as they could have at the trade deadline. All these players y'all saying want money. Yeah, man. The Warriors have financial restrictions. They can't just sign anybody. Any player that's good, the Warriors can get outbid. Buddy and Looney combined for 0 points. Yeah, man. It's rough out here. Buddy and Looney, we all know they can't score. Well, their defense is both taking a hit. Neither one of GB2 or Looney is as good as they were in 2022. That 2022 run, they were both probably at their peak as players. Now they're both in their 30s, their early 30s. They're just not as good defensively, and they're obviously still not good offensive players. So I wouldn't mind having them back next year, but it would have to be on a best minimum. Like GB2, if you want to come back next year, that's cool, but not for $9 million. Not for what he's getting paid now. It has to be a vet minimum, or it's not happening. Kevon Looney, vet minimum, man. We can't keep playing these non-scoring dudes that's falling off defensively. Like Looney, I wouldn't mind having Looney back either, but it has to be a vet minimum. Malik Beasley. The Warriors can't afford Malik Beasley, man. What y'all talking about here, man? Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the Warriors give Pat Spencer a chance. I wouldn't mind him giving Gee more opportunity. The thing I don't understand with the Gee minutes is Gee has barely sniffed the court, but the minutes he's been on the court, he's been fine. Like there hasn't been any obvious situations where he's getting picked on or where he's just hurting a team. He's been fine. It's like you know what Gee's gonna give you, and it's nothing but positive. He's gonna hustle. He's gonna rebound. He gives you more size on the perimeter. He's 6'8". He can knock down an open corner three. I'd rather have Buddy out there than I'd rather have Gee out there over Buddy if Buddy's not hitting shots. After the first quarter and a half, if Buddy's not hitting shots, all right, Buddy, you're done. Bring in Gee. Give Gee a chance. Steve Kerr has to have more of a hook with these role players. That's one of the main criticisms I have with Kerr. He doesn't have nowhere near as quick of a hook with these role players than he needs to. Why are you riding Buddy Hield when he's been cold all game? He's not hitting nothing. He's still out there getting fourth quarter minutes. He's still out there in the second half. It's like, bro, if he's not hitting shots, try something else. Gee doesn't need to hit shots to be effective. Gee can positively impact the game without like knocking down shots. So I think Bam is a free agent this year. No, he's not. He signed a big contract. Bam is getting paid bank. The Warriors wouldn't be able to afford Bam. Do I think there'll be some big trade? I think the biggest trade the Warriors would do is to sign and trade Kuminga and try to get back a vet that can help. When you say big trade, I don't see them trading Draymond. I don't see them trading Jimmy. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Holly, I would rather see Kuminga on the court over Buddy Hield. Yeah, man, if Buddy's not hitting shots, I'd rather see Kuminga too. Like if Buddy's not hitting shots, why is he on the court? Like, why is he on the court? Did the Warriors struggle to score for like 5-minute stretches this game? If dudes ain't hitting shots that are just almost strictly 3-point shooters and they're not hitting shots, all right, let's bench him. Let's get somebody in there who might not be as consistent of a shooter, but he can at least do other things. He can at least rebound. He can at least put up a fight. He can at least hustle, get you some extra possessions. Extra possessions leads to extra kickouts and more opportunities for Steph to make something happen. Yeah, Kerr was out coaching Ime. I would say the first 3 games of the series. These next 3 games, Ime had the advantage. I think Ime's had the edge. At least the last 2 for sure. So, yeah, Steve Kerr, he got to tighten up, man. He got to tighten up because Ime he's on his ass right now. You can't get out coached by Ime. You can't. So, this season over, y'all. I don't know why we're talking about it. No reason to watch games. Just accept the series loss and move on. I mean, I don't see the point in being a Debbie Downer and saying, oh, the season's over. Oh, why are y'all talking about the game? It's like, we're fans of the team. We just expect us to tuck our tail and just like, all right, season's over. You know there's a Game 7 to play. And we got one of the best players of all time on our team. Oh, season's over. No point in talking about it. No point in discussing it. It's over. Come on, man. Like, just because you want to be a Debbie Downer and just be like a pessimist, you can't just force a fandom of people that enjoy this team to just have your same mindset. That's just not how it works. Don't police other fans, man. but you do bring up a point that I do want to speak on. Even if the Warriors win Game 7, which I expect them to, even though I think they're in trouble regardless, because even if you win Game 7, you just played. The Warriors had an opportunity to close the series in 5. If you have to go an extra 3 games or an extra 2 games, that's an L. With this older team, that's just not good. Now you got the T-Wolves waiting for you. You got a young, rested T-Wolves team just waiting at the crib, chilling, just watching y'all just exert more energy. I think either way, whether the Warriors win or not, this first round going 7 games is a bad omen for the rest of the regular season, the rest of the playoffs for them. I think it's ultimately gonna bite them, and it's gonna at some point it's gonna catch up with them. Don't forget they had to play the extra playing game. They had to play that playing game because they tricked off the end of the regular season. That's an extra game. Now you're playing these extra games in the first round. These extra games are gonna add up. They look tired already as is. It's only the first round. The Warriors look tired. Draymond looks tired. Steph looked tired at times. Jimmy looks tired. They look tired already, and it's the first round. So now you're playing another game in the first round. You're playing a Game 7. That's going to be extremely taxing. The Rockets are not going down quietly. They're going to be as physical as possibly can be and have their presence be felt. So even if you do escape that Game 7 and you win, now you got the T-Wolves waiting for you. You just came off this emotional 7-game series, full 7-game series, and you play the extra playing game. And the Warriors had to play essentially the last month and a half of the regular season like it was the playoffs. They had to ride Steph more than they would like to at his age. They had to play Draymond at center basically every game. They wasn't resting on back-to-backs because they had to play catch-up. They had to make up the deficit that they was at before the Jimmy trade. So now you got all the ground they had to make up in the regular season, the extra playing game, and now a 7-game series in the first round. And now they got Ant Edwards just waiting for him in the second round, who just put LeBron and Luka down. That's not going to be an easy series. That series might go 7 games too, to be honest with you. Like, the Warriors might mess around and have to go 7 in the first and second round. And then after that, they more than likely got to play OKC. And then if they somehow come out of that, which would probably take 7 games, then they probably got to play the Cavs or Celtics. It's a tough hill to climb, man, and they're digging their hole deeper and deeper, tricking off these games. You just gave this Rockets team courage. You just gave them confidence. You just gave them momentum. Now they think they could beat you. Now they know they could beat you. They're feeling real good about themselves. After Game 5, they was feeling pretty good. After Game 6, they're feeling really damn good. So now they're going to Game 7 in their crib, and they know they're the younger team. It's a quick turnaround, only 1 day off. They're feeling really damn good. That confidence is going to carry over. Fred VanVleet is giving me nightmares, man. My worst nightmare is come true. He's turned back into 2019 Fred VanVleet. I thought we were done with him. After he signed with the Rockets, I'm like, okay, cool. Fred VanVleet is just off into irrelevancy with this young team. He got his bag. We ain't got to worry about him. Nah. He's back to torment us. He can't miss. This dude's shooting like 70% from 3 the past 3 games. He's just terrorizing us, man. It's insane. Man. Y'all got any questions, man? Endless. Thanks for subscribing, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. Y'all got any questions? Do you think Steph's thumb is bothering him? Yes, his thumb is definitely bothering him. He's wearing that wrap for a reason. He grimaces after basically every offensive play where he has to use his hands. It's definitely bothering him. But he's not getting no remorse from nobody. The opponents don't care. It doesn't matter. Everybody's dealing with something at this point in a year. No one cares. He has to play through it. It is what it is, man. So there's no excuses being made. You really call him Fleet, Fred Van Fleet, bro? Are you really like? Is my pronunciation really bothering you that much? Is that really the main point I'm trying to drive here? Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't got perfect pronunciation for his name. Who cares? Anyways, what do you need to do to win Game 7? They need to figure out how to break this zone and play Steven Adams off the court. That's what they need to do. If they can't figure out the zone, they're done. They got to try to figure out a way to get Jimmy Butler and pick and roll more to counter the zone. Try to get Jimmy Butler and pick and roll. Try to get him going downhill. Maybe get him attacking the middle more. The thing is just the Rockets got so many like of these quick perimeter defenders. They got Tari Eason flying around. They got Jabari Smith flying around. They got Amen flying around. They got so many defenders. They got Dylan Brooks flying around. They got so many dudes that's just covering up these open areas in the zone. And then you got this size down low with Steven Adams and Sengun. It's tough, man. Shogo, what's popping? Van Fleet is probably the correct non-American pronunciation. Yeah, man, I don't know why y'all tripping off my pronunciation, bro. Who cares? Fred Van Cheeks. That's a good one. I'm going to start calling him that from now on. Anyways, are you considering covering any NFL teams? I mean, I'm a Niners fan. Love my Niners, but to be honest with y'all, I'm too busy, man. I can't be covering a whole other sport. Y'all probably want me to post more on this channel, just covering the Warriors. Covering a whole other sport, man, I can't be doing that, man. I got a lot going on. I'm just too busy for all that. But I'm a Niners fan. That's my team. Looks like we're probably gonna take a step back this year. Our team ain't looking too great, but hey, man, I'm still hopeful. Yeah, I'm a Niners fan. Yep. Get y'all jokes off. I'm not tripping. It's all good. Anyways, matter of fact, everybody that watches football in here, put y'all football team in the chat. I want to see something. Warriors is a full-time job. Yeah, man. It's not that the Warriors is a full-time job. It's just that this isn't my main source of income. So I gotta prioritize other things in my free time, in my my day-to-day. But I try to bring content when I can, man. We got Raiders fans up in here. I ain't gonna roast y'all, man. Y'all been through enough. Y'all lost y'all team, man. It's all good. I'm gonna let y'all live. But yeah, let's get back to basketball though. But yeah. Y'all got any other questions for me? Any other questions? Seahawks. Oh man, that's crazy. You a Seahawks and Warriors fan? That's an insane combo, bro. Anyways, back to basketball. What's popping? Y'all got some questions for me? I think for Game 7, I want to see if Kerr get back to the usual lineup with Steph, Pods, Jimmy, Draymond, and who was it? Who was the fifth one? Was it Moody? Man, Moody. The thing with Moody, he's been playing okay offensively these past few games. His defense hasn't been good. He's been getting cooked on defense. So I just don't know, man. It's honestly tough. Your channel's one of the best ones out there. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Uh, do you only have one pair of glasses? That's a funny ass question to ask, man. Nah, I got other pairs of glasses, but uh, I don't like the way they fit my face. I was getting the little like head strains and whatnot. We need to stop turning the ball over. Yeah, man. Warriors gotta stop turning the ball over. Steph, I think at halftime, I didn't see the final count, but at halftime he had 4 turnovers and 1 assist. That's not gonna get it done, man. That's not gonna get it done. They gotta be better with the ball. Dudes gotta hit shots. That's another thing, man. It's just like these Rockets role players are hitting enough threes. Jabari Smith on the road is hitting threes. Tari Eason's hitting threes. Now, can the Warriors role players hit shots on the road? Can Moody hit some shots on the road in the Game 7? Can Pods? Can GP2? Can QP? Their ability to hit shots on the road is going to determine how this Game 7 goes. Because the Rockets are going to do the everybody but Steph defense. That's what they're going to do. Jimmy Butler is probably going to get his 25 to 30. Who else is going to show up? Who else is going to show up? If the role players can't hit shots, it's curtains, bro. Start big. Adam's going to kill us, but limit Sengun's rebounds. If they start big, is who you starting big with? I'm not running no Looney Draymond front court. That lineup is trash, bro. Like Looney can't start next to Draymond no more. If they start big, their only option would be Quinton Post. But do you want to start Quinton Post in a Game 7 on the road? I don't know. I think the Warriors' best bet is to go small and to start the game because Adams doesn't start. He comes off the bench. So the Warriors can go big to start the game, have Draymond on Sengun, and go from there. But once Adams comes in the game, they got to figure something out. They got to get cute. They got to get Quinton Post in the game. They got to figure out some different lineups. But I don't think starting big is the solution. I think they can get away with starting with Draymond at the 5 to start games. But once Adams comes in, they got to make that adjustment. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Quinton Post, man. Maybe go with Steph, Pods, Jimmy, Santos, Draymond. You're still small, but at least you got Santos out there that's 6'8", and he's a good rebounder, and he's scrappy. You could put him defensively. You could put him on Dylan Brooks. There's a few guys where you could put him on, and you're not too worried about it. Maybe that's the solution. I don't know how Steve Kerr feels about starting Santos in a Game 5. That might not be a no go. That might be a no go for Steve. But yeah, man. They're gonna have to give JK some minutes off the bench, though. They're gonna have to give JK a chance. They can't just the Rockets figure something out against us. Their defense is stifling the Warriors' offense. They can't score. They don't have enough dudes that can get a bucket. You're gonna have to. Steve Kerr and his coaching staff are gonna have to put their heads together and figure out a way to incorporate Jonathan Kuminga. They got to figure it out because there's not enough margin for error for them to just exclude one of their better offensive players because he's not executing up to their standards. At some point, him not executing perfectly is irrelevant if you can't score enough to win a game anyways without him. So their best bet is to give him a chance. I would probably start Guy Santos in Game 7. I would go with Steph, Pods, Jimmy, Guy, Draymond. And then once Steven Adams subs in, that's when you get Quinton Post out there. Try to go too big. And just hope the Warriors come up with some type of counter for that zone, man. Because that zone, maybe try to get Kuminga downhill, attacking the open areas. Try to get Jimmy Butler in a pick and roll. Something, man. First time listening, and I'm like a lot of people in here, feeling hopeless but experience and keep the turnovers at a minimum. Yeah, man. It's embarrassing that Kerr forced to play J.K. stubborn for no reason. Even if you have to pull him, he's not the reason we lost the game. I agree. I'd go deep in the bench, TJD, Knox, and Spencer. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I wouldn't mind Pat Spence, but I don't know about Kevin Knox. You gonna play Kevin Knox in a Game 7 on the road when he hasn't played all series? Yeah, you're just asking to get blasted off the court, man. Jimmy was passive in the fourth. Yeah, I think Steph and Jimmy don't have like a perfect they're not synced up perfectly in terms of like when, mainly Jimmy Butler. I think he when he says that Steph's Batman, he means that. Like he looks at Steph as, all right, you're the guy that's gonna carry us down the stretch. I think he hasn't found the best balance of when to just be selfish and be like, all right, it's my turn now. I know you're Batman, Steph, but it's my turn. I'm taking this next shot. I'm getting us something. He does it at times, but there are some games where he's way too passive to get Steph going. And when the Warriors were down like double digits down late, obviously Jimmy's like, look, we need a 3. Let's see if Steph can hit some home runs to get us back in the game. Because exchanging twos with the Rockets when you're down 11 points, it's a losing battle. You're playing against a clock. You can barely score. The Rockets are getting points on the board, and you're gonna exchange twos with the Rockets. It was a losing effort. Endless. Thank you for the donation, brother. We gotta have a classic Steph game or we are cooked. Yeah, this is gonna be a Steph save us situation. We're back to the Steph save us again. And if we lose this game, man, we're going to get clowned, man. We're going to get roasted so bad, dude. Like, we're going to get roasted so bad, man. I was roasting the hell out of the Lakers, and that might be short-lived because we might be in Cancun next. So, yeah, man. There's going to be a lot of jokes flying. Dude's going to try to discredit Steph. Dude's going to have all types of nasty agendas about the Warriors, man. So we can't go out like this, bro. Can we still get a Walker Kessler this offseason, or is that out the window? Because that would be huge for next season. You can't do business with Danny Ainge. He's gonna want every asset you got. You're not getting Walker Kessler. He's too expensive. He's a really good young player. The Jazz aren't gonna just trade him for our poo-poo platter package. It's not happening. So no, I don't think Walker Kessler is realistic. I think the Knicks tried to trade for him before they got Karl Anthony Towns. They offered Utah 2 first-round picks, and then Danny Ainge was like, nah, we want more. So I just don't think there's a scenario where you're getting Walker Kessler without giving up everything you got. I think Curry has a real chance of convincing Giannis to come to the Bay. He might, man. I mean, the Bucks are cooked, so you never know, man. But it's honestly, the Warriors have no chance of outbidding other teams. Like if it was a straight bidding war, the Warriors can't outbid the Spurs. They can't outbid OKC. They can't outbid the Rockets. If Giannis was available, all 3 of those teams, I don't know about OKC. They might not want to make a move like that because of what they got with their young players on cheap contracts. They probably don't want to bring in a big contract like that when they're already the favorites to win a championship. And probably a lot of that depends on how this playoff run for them plays out. But I know for a fact the Spurs and Rockets are 2 teams that will most definitely be at the front of the line trying to acquire Giannis. And the Warriors can't outbid either one of them. Both those teams have an insane treasure trove of draft picks, first round picks that the Warriors just can't match. They got comparable young players and talent. Like, how could you outbid the Rockets if they say, yo, we'll give you a Amen Thompson or Alfred Sengun and like 5, 6, 7 first round picks or however many they're allowed to trade? The Warriors can't match that trade package even if they wanted to. It's impossible for them to match that trade package. Because if Giannis is on the table, the Rockets will definitely offer Sengun. If the Bucks were like, yo, we'll give you Giannis, give us Sengun, plus some picks, the Rockets would do it. The Warriors have no asset that's better than Sengun. They have no asset that's better than Amen Thompson. So the Warriors will get outbid. Their only hope is for Giannis to literally demand that the Bucks trade him to the Warriors. He has to force his way to the Warriors so that the Warriors gain leverage in those trade conversations, and what they give up in a trade is less. Because Giannis did win a championship. Hold on, I gotta plug my laptop up, y'all. Give me 1 second. Fuck. My bad. All right. What was I saying, man? Oh yeah, Giannis. Yeah, man. The Warriors would have to hope Giannis demands a trade to the Warriors so that the Warriors don't have to give up as much. Because if it was just like a bidding war, the Warriors will get outbid by like 3 teams, at least 3 teams. So. Yeah, man, the Warriors' best chance at a championship is next season when you give Mike Dinwiddie an offseason to analyze what went wrong this year, what the roster is lacking, and acquire those players in free agency. Hopefully we can get Melton back for the vets minimum. That would be great. He'll be amazing on his team next to Jimmy. Maybe see about Steven Adams, who's a free agent. Try to convince Steven Adams, yo, come play with Steph and Jimmy. You never know. But this was never just win the championship after making a midseason trade for a star is hard. The only team that I think have done that is the 2019 Raptors when they traded for Kawhi Leonard. When they traded DeMar DeRozan, Danny Green, and I think like a few like salary filler guys, and they got Kawhi, and they messed around and won a chip at our expense in 2019. Other than that, win a championship after trading for a star mid-season is so hard because not only do you have the adjustment period, the roster isn't a perfect fit for the new roster construction. As we can see now, this team doesn't have enough shooting. But if they went into the season with Jimmy Butler already on the roster, or if they traded for Jimmy Butler early in the season and they had time to evaluate the roster and had time to make a second move, then they could make another trade at the trade deadline to bring in more shooting. So since they didn't have that 04 Pistons when they got Sheed, there you go. So as you can see, it's very rare. So it's very hard. It's very hard to win a championship after making a midseason trade for a star, man. So as much as I want to see us win this championship this year, and I think that they have a chance, it's going to be hard. And they just made their lives a lot more harder now going to 7 games in the first round. It's not ideal. If Paz was only 6'8", if Paz was 6'8", he would have never been available for us to draft him. He would have got drafted in the lottery. I like our rotations more before the playoffs. I feel like when JK was hurt, Santos was getting healthy minutes as well as other taller players. Yeah, I don't know why Steve Kerr took Santos out of the rotation. Like, he hasn't done anything to warrant it. Like, it doesn't make any sense how – it just doesn't make any sense. We need bigger players that can play. Guy Santos at 6'8" is probably like our 3rd or 4th tallest player on a roster, and he's one of our better rebounders. And he can't sniff the court. It's crazy. Yo, what's up, King Corey? Mr. Level, what's popping? Throwaway Poland, what's popping? Yeah, man. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about? Yeah, man, this is tragic, bro. Yeah. Yeah, the Warriors can't go into next year with this small ball, with only the small ball as their like end all be all. They gotta have counters. It's okay having Draymond as your small ball option, as as like a switch up pitch or like a in the games against certain lineups, but it can't be your end all be all. They gotta have an influx of talent in the front court. So I don't know who that is. Like in my opinion, the perfect player for what they need. I'm not saying this exact player is gonna be available because he's not, but they need a dude like Nas Reed. If this Warriors team could somehow turn the asset of Kuminga into a player of Nas's Reed archetype, of his archetype, that's what they need. They need a dude that got size. Nas Reed got size. He's out there. He's okay defensively. Against the Lakers, he was holding up against LeBron on switches. He was holding up in certain lineups where he had to play big, and he was playing big. He's also talented offensively. He can shoot. He's athletic. He can get to the rim at times. He has a handle. He's talented. That's the type of big man the Warriors need. If only when the Warriors had the second overall pick in 2020. Let's just forget about them drafting a star. Let's forget about them adding a star with that pick. If only they added a player of Nas's Reed's talent level in the front court with that second overall pick, I would have been happy with that. If that second overall pick in 2020 turned into a Nas Reed archetype of big man, level of big man in terms of like talent, not the exact same player, but just talent, they'll be so much better off right now than what the current situation where they got nothing out of that pick. But they need like a Nas Reed type of dude, man. Kerr's like a drug addict, repeating behavior that's bad, then doing even more when stressed or fear. Oh man, yeah, man. Steve Kerr was panicking tonight, bro. He got out coached very badly. Mikal Bridges, OG type players. Yeah, that's what they need, but those players are extremely rare and extremely expensive. So they don't. How would y'all feel about the Warriors trading for Andrew Wiggins? How would y'all feel? Y'all let me know in the chat. How would y'all feel about the Warriors reacquiring Andrew Wiggins using Kuminga sign and trade? Maybe like Buddy Hield and Kuminga in a sign and trade and get Andrew Wiggins back. Drop it in the chat. Yes or no for Kuminga. Yes or no for Andrew Wiggins coming back. Drop it in the chat. Also, if y'all is enjoying the chat, man, if y'all still around, if y'all still sticking in here with me, man, like the video right now, bro. I need everybody that's in here to like the video. That's all I'm asking of y'all, man. Just like the video, bro. That just lets me know y'all enjoying the content, and I should make more of these videos. So do me a favor, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, man. And we're gonna keep it going a little bit longer. I see HT said in a heartbeat to Wiggins. Lana Third said no. Endless said nah. Shogo said yes. LNS said yes, bring him back, please. Endless said not enough spacing. Same issue with Kuminga. I wouldn't necessarily call it the same issue because Wiggins is a better shooter than Kuminga. Wiggins is actually a really good corner shooter, especially with the Warriors. If you look at Wiggins' three-point shooting, his like 5 years with the Warriors, he's at around 37%. And from the corners, he's hovering around 40%. I think like 39%. So obviously, Wiggins, his jumper comes and goes. It wanes during key moments at times. But in general, he's a much better fit next to Steph and Jimmy than Kuminga is because He doesn't operate in the same areas of the court. Like the thing with Kuminga and Jimmy, they operate in the same areas of the court. They're trying to get to the same spots on the court. It makes it clunky because Kuminga can't play off of Jimmy. Wiggins is like, yo, number one, I don't need the ball. Number two, I'm perfectly fine spotting up in a corner and shooting threes. If you tell Wiggins like, yo, we need you to shoot like 7 threes, maybe get to the rim every now and then, he'd be like, oh, okay, cool. But with Kuminga, it's like you're not gonna tell him, yo, spot up in the corner and shoot like 6, 7 threes. Nah, he's trying to get to the rim. He's trying to get to his mid range. He's trying to play like T-Mac. Like, let's be honest. Like Kuminga's trying to be T-Mac. He's trying to play like Kobe. He's trying to get to that mid range, and he has some talent getting to that shot. But the Warriors don't have the patience or the margin for error to explore that in their offense. Especially when you got Jimmy Butler, who is that and better, more polished, and you know what you're getting with him. So, what else y'all said? It's not enough, though. We still small. I mean, it doesn't have to be the only move they make. They could trade for Wiggins to do something else. Games may be closer, but he ain't guarding Sengun or Adams. That's true. The Warriors still got to address their front court, but having another 6'8" guy that's stout defensively would definitely help and can hit a shot on the other end of the court. He can hit threes. I mean, and also there's a difference between Wiggins being your second option and your third option. When you got Jimmy Butler here and you slot Wiggins down to now your third option, now you don't need to ask as much from him offensively. Now you could put more energy into defense and rebounding, helping out defensively. So that's one positive. I for sure think JK and Kerr beefing. Oh yeah, most definitely. They definitely beefing. Bro. JK might be quiet if he got reps since day one. JK will never be quiet, bro. Like at some point, we gotta just admit when some of it's on the player too. We're in year 4. If JK was gonna be Kawhi Leonard, you would see more progression from him. Now, has Steve Kerr kind of jerked around his minutes and kind of been inconsistent with his playing time and his role? Yes. But at some point, when you're that level of talent, you do, like the thing with Kawhi, he had one thing he was really good at from day one that got him on the court, and that's defense. Kawhi from day one was an elite defender. And since he was elite at one thing, that guaranteed him playing time from the jump. And that allowed him enough consistent minutes to develop other aspects of his offensive game. When Kuminga got drafted, he wasn't really good at one particular thing. He's athletic. He can get to the rim off an advantage. He can get to the rim in open court and finish. But there wasn't this one thing that you could be like, yo, he's elite at that. So I think that's a little disingenuous to say that you could just pencil him in to be Kawhi Leonard. He can't be Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard, talent-wise, a Hall of Famer. He's a very complete player. Like Kawhi Leonard, there's not many holes in Kawhi's game where you could say he's not at least adequate in that area of his game. He's a very complete player. Offensively, he could pretty much do everything. Like besides like the playmaking, like he could, in terms of scoring, he could pretty much do everything. He's still a great defender. He could do a lot, man. So Kuminga's nowhere near that. If he was anywhere close to being that type of player, you would see more signs of growth by now in year 4. Kuminga's biggest thing, besides his lack of consistent 3-point shooting, is his handle hasn't improved. His handle is very shaky still, and you would hope coming into year 4, now completing year 4, that you will see a jump. The thing that could turn Kuminga from what he is now into a star would be his handle improving, because his handle improvement will be able to allow him to get to his spots more easily. When you combine an improved handle with his athleticism and his burst and his size on the perimeter, now his lack of shooting isn't as detrimental because he can get to his spots easier. He's not getting stripped trying to get to the rim. He has more counters with his footwork. He has more ability to generate looks in his sweet spots, whether that be at the rim or getting to like a pull up in the midi, whatever the case may be. his handle still being limited is the biggest hindrance on his progression. And that's no one, you can't blame nobody but him. Or you probably can't even blame him. Because I know from everything I've heard about Kuminga, he works really hard. He's a gym rat. He's in a gym. There's one thing you can't say about him is work ethic. He's in a gym. So sometimes it's not no one's fault in terms of like it's just maybe his ceiling isn't there. Like he's putting the work in. He's in a gym. Maybe he's working on the wrong things. We don't know. But one thing about Kuminga, he's not lazy, man. He has that work ethic. From his background, where he's coming from, kid from Congo, his family, he's basically the breadwinner for his family. Everyone's depending on him to make it and be that guy. You can't tell me that kid's not in the gym every day, because he is multiple times a day. But unfortunately, it's not really showing in his progression the way you would hope now completing year 4. He hasn't developed because he's been behind a championship roster. I'm not saying like his situation hasn't hindered him. Like obviously, if he was on a rebuilding team, he would have developed more. But I'm just saying, like at some point, you gotta. It's not just the situation's fault, because if he developed specific things that he can guarantee playing time with, like being an elite defender, look at GB2. Why is GB2 on a court every game, no matter what? He's an elite defender. Well, I wouldn't call him elite anymore, but he's a great defender. If Kuminga brought one thing to the table that basically made him undeniable and forced Steve Kerr to not be able to take him off the court, he would have more leeway to develop other aspects of his game and get reps, in-game reps. But since he hasn't developed that one particular skill to earn him playing time, consistent playing time, now you're at the mercy of Steve Kerr shuffling the deck, because you're not giving that one thing consistently. And the thing with Steve Kerr already said what he wants from Kuminga a few years ago. He said Kuminga's best trajectory is not to be Kawhi Leonard. Steve Kerr said this. This is literally what he said. Y'all listen up. Steve Kerr said Kuminga's best trajectory as a player is to model his game after Shawn Marion. Shawn Marion was a great player. Shawn Marion, if Kuminga was Shawn Marion, the Warriors, number one, would sweep the Rockets. They would smoke the T-Wolves next series. If Kuminga was Shawn Marion, the Warriors would be unbeatable. They would be a juggernaut, because Shawn Marion was, number one, an elite wing defender. He was an elite rebounder for his size on the wing. Great switch defender. He can guard 1 through 5. Not every single center, not every single point guard, but he can adequately guard 1 through 5. He had enough positional versatility in terms of his size on the wing as a 6'7" wing. Long arms, athletic, lateral quickness. He can guard 1 through 5 adequately. Smart offensive player in terms of picking his shots. He didn't take much off the table in terms of what he provided offensively. And he was just a winner. He was just a really good player to have on your team. Always you could count on him to be crashing offensive boards, utilizing his athleticism to crash the boards, get his team extra possessions. And he didn't prioritize scoring, score. He didn't prioritize that. If Kuminga took the Shawn Marion, if Kuminga just sat down and just watched Shawn Marion's play style, watch tape of Shawn Marion, how he plays, and said, okay, this is what Steve Kerr wants. I'm going to do everything Shawn Marion does, and this is going to buy me minutes on the court. With these extra minutes on the court, now I have a little more leeway to get the reps I need to kind of sprinkle in a little bit of my offense when the opportunity presents itself. Shawn Marion would be, yo, my boy Matt's in here. Yo, shout out to Matt Argo, man. That's my guy right here, man. I've known this man for over 20 years, bro. Oh, he's trolling. He said, Fred, he game 7 on the horizon. He's roasting, man. He is not a Warriors fan. I say it like that, man. But that's my guy, bro. Yo, Matt, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you, bro. We gonna talk in the chat, man. We got some things to talk about. But right on, that's my boy Matt. Deontay Peterson, shout out to you too. Thanks for the donation, brother. Warriors need a third, second option. I miss JP, bro. Yeah, man, JP would be nice on his team. The Warriors definitely could use a JP, Jordan Poole. Obviously, it's impossible for them to have Jordan Poole on his team still with Jimmy Butler signed. It's just that the roster slot that they have Jimmy Butler in, Jordan Poole, when the Warriors had Jordan Poole, he would have been a part of that roster slot. So it's impossible for them to have both. They'll be way over the second apron. They would just their roster would be way too expensive. But yes, they definitely need a Jordan Poole type player for sure. Yeah, we're going to a game 7, Matt. Yep, we're gonna take care of business though. But yeah, man, y'all got any more questions for me? Fred reminds me of a Teddy Graham. Marion is more realistic than Kawhi. Yeah, Sean Marion is way more realistic than Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard is an all-time player. Like, healthy Kawhi is literally like a Hall of Famer. Like, Sean Marion is way more realistic. Just lock in on defense, be a monster on the glass. He has every single tool to be Sean Marion. Like, being Kawhi Leonard is very hard. There's only one Kawhi Leonard that we've seen. Every young wing that comes out, you hear the little scouting report. Oh, he's the next Kawhi Leonard. He has these tools. Like, who's that kid on the Bulls? Patrick Williams, that wing for the Bulls. They drafted him 4th overall. Like, that was in James Wiseman's draft in 2020. They said, oh, he's the next Kawhi Leonard. He has these measurements. He's 6'7". He has these big hands. He's athletic. He's the next Kawhi Leonard. And now, fast forward, 5 years later, he's literally he never developed past his rookie season. He's just a role player who has the measurements of Kawhi Leonard, but he never became nowhere near sniffing half of what Kawhi Leonard is. So there's only one Kawhi Leonard, bro. Like, and it's no shame in Kuminga not ever being able to attain that level of stardom. You're talking about an all-time player. Richard Roque said, Who the Warriors grab off if I know leaves, if ASN leaves? Who do the Warriors grab off season if I know leaves? Man, number one, thank you for the donation, brother. I appreciate you. I'm assuming you're trying to say who do the Warriors grab in the offseason if JK leaves. I think that's what you're trying to say. If JK leaves, the Warriors have to sign and trade him for a vet that fits in that roster, in that salary slot. So somewhere around the 20 to 25, 30 mil range, somebody that fits in that roster slot. Whatever you're going to sign Kuminga to, you got to find a vet that kind of fits in that roster slot. Yeah. Yeah, man, we about an hour and a half into this right now. Man, y'all still rock with me, man. That's love, bro. I appreciate y'all. Bruce Brown would be cool, but he doesn't really solve what the Warriors' biggest weakness is. The Warriors got to get some talent in the front court. To answer your question, Richard, if JK leaves, the Warriors can probably open up the mid-level exception. The mid-level exception is basically it's a contract that teams a certain amount under the tax apron can offer free agents, even though they're over the luxury tax. So I don't know the exact numbers. I don't have them in front of me. I'm not trying to bore y'all with like some numbers and all these like stat sheets and whatnot, but based off how much the Warriors have in terms of their payroll, if they trade Kuminga, they might be able to offer a free agent, even though they're over the salary cap. They might be able to offer a free agent anywhere from $9 million to $12 million. So with that range, they can probably offer. They might be able to convince Steven Adams to come to the Bay. I don't have a list of free agents in front of me. That's a video for a whole nother time. But yeah, if they trade Kuminga, they gotta get like a vet back. Maybe Cam Johnson. Maybe I've seen people say Kobe White. Kobe White would be nice. He's not a big. He doesn't address the size issue, but he's a shot creator. And him playing off of Steph and Jimmy's advantages would be crazy. Kobe White is a bucket. He's a 6'5" guard. He's shifty. He has a pretty good first step. He could shoot. He could pass. He would be nice. He would basically be the Jordan Poole replacement. Like Kobe White is basically Jordan Poole, probably a little better defensively. But that's what you're looking at with Kobe White. He would be nice. But the Bulls ain't making that trade for just Kuminga. It would have to be Kuminga plus first round picks. The Warriors would probably have to overpay to get Kobe White. And are you going to overpay to bring in another guard? I don't know if they're willing to do that. But Kobe White for the right price would be nice. Yeah, and also, I rock with Kobe White, but why give Kerr another guard? Yeah, if you give Kerr another guard, he will utilize it. It will be some 3-guard lineups on deck. So, careful what you wish for, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all for showing love, bro. Let's get Jeff Teague off the 520 podcast for the vet minimum. That's comedy. Jeff Teague got jokes, bro. Jeff Teague is probably the funniest storyteller I've heard in a while, man. That dude's hella funny. But yeah, it's about to be 11 o'clock my time. I'm about to call it here, y'all. Clint Capella, Chase for KD Part 2. It depends what Clint Capella costs. I don't know what his market will look like. But anyways, it's about to be 11 o'clock my time, y'all. I'm about to call it right here. I appreciate all y'all for showing love, man. If y'all haven't already, please like the video. Support the channel. Show love, man. That means a lot to me. The fact that y'all spending y'all Friday night with me means a lot to me by itself. But a like on the video would go a long way. So if you haven't already, please do that. I appreciate y'all for showing love, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. I love talking hoops with y'all, man. Y'all my little tribe, man. I'm seeing like some consistent faces in here. I appreciate y'all, man. So thank you, bro. Thank you, man. But yeah, man, I hope y'all